Hey guys, Jason here, Word of the Wise. I've done a lot of biblical stuff lately, but today's something different. Today is based on economy. Now, this hit me like a ton of bricks, and it keeps building in my mind. I have to bring forth this kind of idea. And I looked at the gas crises over the last 50 years. I've looked at the last 20 years, and we have been on a downward slide for the last couple of years, but now we're on a slow increase. Now, it made me think, look at what they're pressing so hard is minimum wage. They want to get minimum wage up to $15 an hour. Now, think about that. This country's run by oil. The world is run by money, this and that, blah, blah, blah. So now think about it. They press for $15 an hour for minimum wage. What happens? The next gas crisis, because when they know that we're getting paid X amount of dollars, now they can go back through their rating system of how much can they take, and then it's going to hit hard. Now, if you compare back in 1983, gas prices almost reached $4 a gallon. That's almost comparative to, say, gas prices going up to $15 a gallon. It's insane, because back then you would make $200 a week, and that would be a good amount of money. Nowadays, $500 a week isn't even enough, barely, to afford a nice car and a place to live. Back in the 90s and 80s, $2,000 a month was great. So now, if they make $15 an hour, now that presses all the businesses to pay. Now you're going to start thinning out your work crew, tightening your work, and cleaning up any mistakes that are happening in your workplace. Now, they start hiking up, they're taking from the businesses to pay the people. The people are now going to be having lots of money, and then all of a sudden, gas crisis hits. That's going to draw everything up. What happened last time was Katrina hit New Orleans. That caused a lot of construction damage, a lot of flow of the economy's needs. Drywall, building materials, all started going to New Orleans to rebuild. Now, if some sort of other crisis happened, they're going to need the supplies. They're going to need, that's going to put effect. Gas prices went from like $1.50 a gallon to $4 a gallon. Again, you start bleeding the people, it starts bleeding on the workplace, then even semis and truckers and stuff like that are paying more. It's going to cost more to get your goods. This is a trickle-down effect. This is going to hit hard. It's going to hit hard. And I'm not saying gas is going to go up to $15 a gallon. What I'm saying is gas prices could go up to $10 a gallon. Think about something like that. Think about when you're charging maybe for a week or two, it's not so bad. But when you're going months at it, and then they're just raising the bar because you're making more, then it might settle back down to $8, $7 a gallon. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And what's going to happen is it's going to start bleeding America. Because what you're doing is you're raising the rates for inflation, which we don't have. We don't have the money to pay out inflation. We're already broke as it is. So what are they doing? The powers that be are now siphoning more money faster out of the economy, out of America. This is going to happen. Now that I've run the numbers in my head, and I'm not saying I'm some business calculator, but that's what happened back in, 05 when this happened? Then 08 had another little burst of the economy almost tanked completely. 401ks disappeared. Now imagine all these people who are relying on 401ks, because a lot of people have switched over to gold. And now imagine that 401k for so many people. I knew people, I hate to say it, I knew people that literally committed suicide because they lost their 401ks. Now put this on a grander scale of not some people losing their 401ks, but everybody losing their 401ks. And I'm not saying that's going to happen. And that's not what this is about. This is about looking at the way this happens every 10, 15 years. We are overdue for a gas hike. The last time, I mean, when I started driving back in the mid 90s, I remember paying 89 cents a gallon of gas. I can't even fathom, then it went up to like $2.50, then it went back down to $1.50, then it went up to like $3.50, $4 a gallon during the Katrina, which was 2005 era. So that was a 10-year span from 89 cents a gallon to $4 a gallon. And that's pretty much where the prices are. We're at like what, 275 right now, 260s. But it has to go up high and really crunch America to make them upset about the prices, to get them to lower them back down. So if an Iraq war or Iran war happens, and here they are talking about, it's going to affect the flow of fuel, and what were they doing in South America? Venezuela, I think, has the largest reservoir of gasoline, and they just found a huge ton of oil in the Gaza Strip, or the Gaza Heights, whatever they call that. Here again, think about that. I mean, I can sit here and go on and on. These are things that are just coming off the top of my head with just natural news, which I don't even watch. But if an Iran war happens and they start attacking fuel fleets because they can't somehow go another way to transfer oil, which Iran and China are in the same, eat at the same table anyway. You got Russia, who's bouncing all over the table. He's eating at America's table. He's eating at Iran and China's table. Russia's the smart player in all this. He's playing it cool. He's playing it civilized with everybody. So these are things to start looking at and wait for, because all you need is some Middle East disagreement to happen, and then all of a sudden, once the shoe drops, gas prices are going to skyrocket, and that's going to hit home. They're going to make war and make all these heroes out of all this tragedy that's going on, so that people don't think that, it's a humanitarian effort somehow. It's not an economical thing, it's humanitarian. So, I don't know, you can just look into this stuff. Think about it. Get a bar graph, just Google it. What has gas prices done over the last 30 years? And look at the rise and hikes from 1980 to now. It's quite amazing, because I can't even imagine what $4 a gallon must have felt like back in 83. That is insane. So, I gotta go to work though. You guys take it easy. I'll look more into this, because I'll tell you what, I believe that this is what's really going to cripple America. And once we get crippled and food prices go skyrocketing also, don't forget about that. When the delivery trucks, semis are paying a lot, you're going to pay a lot more for food, for the delivery. You want the service, you got to pay for it. So there again, look at, look into the beast system. You can't buy, sell, or trade without having the mark, because they're in control, because things are just that tough. Sorry. So, word to the wise, guys. Heads up.